Hello, 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 everybody. Give me a 5 5. And if you can hear me, I'm so happy you're all here. And let me see. Okay. Hey, Rook, Patricia, all my girls all my mods, and Grandpa C, Cat Spotter. So great to see you all. LD, and Kate over there, and James, Donald. Great, great, great. So, Christina, hey, and Michelle, and Chris, everybody's here. So today we have our favorite one, Carly. So before I'm going to start talking to her, I want to say that if you want to do super chat, I do have also a link for a GoFundMe or the PayPal, which I prefer because YouTube takes a lot away. And we don't want to have that. Hey, Grasshopper, so great to see you. Oh my gosh, that's the first time I see you here. I'm so happy. And Bacon Yoda and Julia. So great. So, Carly, I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having me. I love the names that you're putting out. Like I don't have the glasses on, so it's like I'm looking at it. Everyone's saying hello, greetings from Denmark. Hi guys, you look lovely, ladies. Look at all these great people out there. You have
Yeah.
excellent
Oh, I've got
friends.
my white hat t-shirt because white hat couldn't be here. And so I figured I do it this way. And her shirt is like freaking perfect. I love it. Show us your shirt,
I got
Punisher.
Q Punisher. Woohoo!
I
Oh
love it.
yeah.
I love it. So today we're gonna have obviously a bit of a laugh, and I'm going to ask her a bit about her background since, well, I guess nobody really knows completely unless they follow your Periscope sometimes. And
Yeah,
so,
Periscope, I spilled the beans a bit, but listen, I don't hide anything from anybody because
well,
you and I
oh,
discussed this before. It's,
exactly.
people like to go digging in our old Facebook and stuff because they think, oh, I'm going to get them.
Yes,
I don't know if it's a jealousy thing or they think, maybe there hasn't been a Q post in a while, so let's go after somebody's account, you know?
exactly.
So,
So I was
uh,
talking to her about how many of us in the movement either were addicted or have been in jail or have a past. We all have a past, but we woke up and now we're here doing the work. And whatever was in the past is in the past. And there's no shame to whatever we've done because at the end of the day, we woke up, and that's all that matters, right? And so I know so many people in this movement that, come from like a heavy background, and whether that is, through addiction, depressions, or PTSD or whatever, or criminal past or whatever, it doesn't matter because we're here because we are the ones that wake up people, right? So tell us a bit about your story.
oh boy. Well, having been sexually abused as a child, I stayed out of the house as much as possible. So when you basically are almost like a street kid, even though you live with pretty well to do grandparents
Yeah.
or whatever, down the block was a park, Crochron Park in Bayside, Queens. And there was the drug element, there was underage drinking. I started real young. They all, and they all thought I was older, but I was like 14, 15, and I liked it and I fit in. And then, as you go with drugs and alcohol,
Yeah.
uh, that then the sex starts, and I was awakened to how good it feels at a young age. And that, it's just one thing leads to another. And then it's all
Yeah.
fun and games until you can't stop.
Yes.
And you find yourself drinking so you can do coke, and doing coke so you can keep drinking, and that vicious circle where and then you're up for 5 6 days and you're drinking NyQuil
How
because
old were
you can't
you
fall asleep.
when you
Oh
started doing that?
God, I guess 18. I had just graduated high school, and then we were trying
Wow.
Black
That
Beauties, that was speed because, at that time everyone was dancing all the time. This was the 80s into the 90s. So it was all the punk rock and the new romantic music
wait,
and
wait.
stuff.
From which year are you? How old are you? How young?
How young? I'm 56 now.
Okay. Yeah, because yeah, well, my
I've
two.
been around a while. So I've been through every phase of music. I always wanted to be a rock star. And I basically lived a rock star life without being a rock star because I was like my own groupie.
Yes.
So there was the sex and the drugs and the gigs, but I never got paid. It was all inheritance money, and I was pissing it away and snorting it and whatever I could do with it. It's a good night when you go to Citibank. That's when they started with the cards. The AT, that you go in the bank and you're able to use a Citibank card.
Right.
When you end up withdrawing about $2,000 within the course of 3 or 4 hours while you're out at the club
Whoa.
because you keep going back because you need more drugs and you need
But
more
whose
money
money
and
was it?
my grandfather who had passed.
Okay.
And
And your parents were not there?
my mother left me and my sister with our grandparents after my father left when my mother was pregnant with my sister. We're only like a year apart, so I
Yeah.
was a year old. And all I have is had my sister stole them were some pictures of me and my dad. He was Swedish and he was an artist and a photographer. Very good looking man. I look a lot like him.
Well, you're a
Sweet.
good-looking woman.
Thank you. But he was gone, and then I heard all kinds of stories why he was gone. But then I finally heard that he was a merchant marine and he met a woman in Germany and wanted to go live with her because he wanted sons. And my mother was giving him a second daughter, and he didn't believe it was his because he was out being a merchant marine. So how did she get pregnant?
Oh,
And my mother was a bit of a whore herself, and she left us there with the grandparents,
ugh.
and she knew what he did because he had done it to her and her sister.
Wow.
So she knew, and she had her own little apartment in Great Neck while leaving us in Bayside. And she had her bartending job and her go-go boots and, doing her thing.
Go,
And
go.
then, yeah, well, that was the style then.
Well, did you live in New York at the time? Or you were
Well,
born
this was Queens. This is Queens.
right.
So it's right outside of New York. And I just stayed out and did my thing as much as I could till I was about, I think I was 18, 19. I got my own apartment in the city.
Wow.
I couldn't get out of there fast enough. And
Wow.
finally, it came down to he tried to drag me into the basement one night. And I guess I got a little too old and I'd been playing basketball and I was always into sports and I got a little too strong. And dragging me by my hair didn't work because I
Yeah.
fought back. I fought back.
Yeah,
And
that
that's when
eventually happens.
it finally ended. And I think the only reason I stayed there, even after my mother remarried to a cop that had 3 kids of his own from a divorce, and my sister went to live with them.
Mm,
And I was too old and already hated my mother so much that there was no way I was going to leave my grandmother, who I did love.
yeah.
And he had stopped touching me. So I wasn't going to leave her to go live with this witch that left me there to rot for so many years.
Wow.
And
And
finally, after my grandmother, she said, "Don't worry, baby. When I go, you're going to get everything and you're going to be in charge of everything." And after she passed away, at the funeral at the house, my mother stood there next to that filthy old man, because he wasn't dead yet. He would die a year later, and
wow.
said, "I'm going to be in charge." And I just looked at her and I looked at him. She basically, that's when it hit me. She had sold us to him.
What?
That was her payoff. Leave us, the little girls, go live your life, and I'll leave you lots of money. And that's it. He made her executor, he made her trustee, where even my aunt, her sister, fought in court till she could get some extra money from the will, and she ended up dying a week later from a heart attack after all of that because she was
Wow.
so upset. So, you go through that so young. And, I think about it now. It doesn't even upset me anymore. It's just like, this is part of who I am.
Yeah,
So when I get attacked by other people, I just laugh at them. I say, you have no idea. You think
exactly.
your stupid little tweets and, and taking pictures of me and making me into a meme or putting me, you have no idea
They cannot
who I
win that.
am.
Absolutely not. Hang on. I want to thank LD for her super chat. Blessings from Wales. Sorry, PayPal doesn't work. Okay, that doesn't matter. And also from Trisha Q, Texas. Thank you so much for your donation. And I also want to say for whoever is new here, please subscribe and like. And so you came out of that, and then what happened?
Well, then I went and I lived in Manhattan at 11th Street Avenue A. I was working at Canal Jeans, folding jeans, selling jeans, and it turned out the old man there was a pervert too,
Of course.
and never got far, but like I could smell a pervert a mile away because I'd been trained.
Yes.
So
But
I ended up.
but you also attract them because you're still in that vicious circle.
Well, that's what I used to think. I said, like, do they see? Like, does it say victim
Not
or something on me? Like, why do I attract these people like this? Why
well,
does everyone? No, can I? I hope I don't want to say something offensive, but it just felt like for so many years in my life, it's like, why does every man just want to F me? They don't want to know me. They don't care. I want to sing. I have aspirations. I'm an artist. No, they all just want to get in my pants, and that's all I'm good for. And I'm like, am I tainted from when I was a kid, or do I smell different? Do I
yeah,
look different? There's prettier girls, and they get respected. I could never understand it. It was like there was a curse on me.
I know exactly what you mean because I had the same, and I was a late bloomer, like really late, like 23. But I looked older for my age, and I always had the same problem. And it was like, I don't know what it was, but every time I came in, boom, like flies. And same thing, exactly. So I know what you mean. However, I guess that's just because I don't know, maybe birth. So you have this spontaneous way of being, and so maybe that makes them think that way because I had that problem. And so yeah, what can you do about it is learn and get better for yourself and attract other people around you, I guess.
Well, I always said I still wish to this day I could be more of a bitch,
Yeah.
that people wouldn't think that they could act the way they do towards me. It's like I've been in the attic since December, and you know what? I'm fine with it. I'm fine. You know, that's why I like performing because, like I used to tell people, I'm up on a stage and
Yes.
you have to listen to me. You can't touch me unless I want you to. You can't do anything to me unless I invite you in. And it was almost like a protective wall, and I could perform and be safe.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
was afterwards that all the bad things would happen.
yeah, I know that feeling exactly because you feel safe and protected. It's the moment that it all
Yes,
stops is that your life starts again, right? Because you kind
exactly.
of escape from your own life that way. So tell us what you've done in the entertainment industry.
Well, let's see. I When I started working at nightclubs like Danceteria, I worked at. I cleaned the bathrooms and was a bar back and stuff. When Madonna was like blowing Jelly Bean Bonitas up in the DJ booth, and this guy Howie would have these talent shows. So I would do like I'd Rather Be Blue, from Funny Girl with the roller skates. I would do I Love You Porgy with a bit. I love dressing up blonde wigs. I do characters. I started the character acting very early,
Yeah.
and I would sing up on the roof. And from there, I said, you know what? It's only $99 to fly to England. Everyone's going to England. Everyone in New York is buying British music.
Yes. That
So
was, yeah, in
that
the
was
80s.
it. And the dollar was equal to the pound. So on People's Express, it was $99 to fly to England.
Yeah.
So that's where I went. And I met
You,
Skinhead. I met New Romantics. I hung out with the Thompson twins. I flew over with them once after the
no way.
MTV Awards. Yep. And hung out with all those guys. And I
Memories.
tried to do some recording over there. And this is when you could get a record deal with just a single.
Yeah.
Everything was singles.
Yes.
So, I did a few recordings over there. Nothing caught on. But when I finally came home, and this went on for 2 years, I went back and forth because you would get a 6-month visa.
Yeah.
So I would use up to the very day the 6-month visa, come home, get a little money together, and go right back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
When
I
was that?
actually, oh God,
Was that the 80s? Yeah,
yeah,
Thompson. Yeah.
yeah, late 80s. Oh
Wow.
God,
Yeah,
yeah. I
because you're a
used to
bit
hang out
older
with.
than me. So, yeah, you started a bit earlier in the 80s. I
But
was like,
nothing happened over there. But the fact that I went there and people actually like saw me in Trafalgar Square hanging out with people I had the coolest clothes, you know. I mean, for what it cost to fly to England and the clothing and everything was so cheap, and to come back and no one would have what you had on,
yes.
it was so worth it. And when you came back, everyone looked at you a little different. It was almost like you were a bit like royalty because you had spent time in London. You're worldly now, and everyone should respect you. And here, kiss the ring. So people took me more seriously. So I was able to get in better bands and get better, venues and stuff.
So you learned the
And
British language.
I had a British accent for a while.
Love it.
It's very easy to get a British accent.
Yes. Yes.
But I told this story a million times. I came home. This was the last time I was coming home from England for good. Okay. Because People's Express disappeared. It was Continental. The prices were going up. The world was changing a bit. And I was all ready to come home and have this lovely soft spoken voice because I hate my own speaking voice because it's just so raw and so New York. And I was going to come back and sound all lovely. And
Lovely.
lovely. And I went to the duty free and I got myself some bubble yum bubble gum. And the minute I put it in my mouth and I started to chew, I was like, I had the Brooklyn accent back, baby. It was like, it was gone in like 2 seconds. I was like, oh no, I lost it forever. So now I have to, imitate it where it was just flowing it was so nice because I have such a voice. I mean, everyone loves the cackle. I'm famous for my laugh now,
Yes.
where I tried to be a musician my whole life and now I'm famous for laughing,
You
which
laugh.
I'll never understand. I'll
Actually,
never understand it.
you got booted for your laugh from Twitter.
Twice, twice,
I remember.
twice. I
Yes.
couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me? Because I'm laughing at Rachel Madcow and I'm laughing with Jesse Waters at the guy saying Epstein didn't kill himself. And they take down my account. I say, you can't make this up.
Oh no,
You
I
can't.
remember that day that happened because you were in yeah, it was with the um you were laughing about, well, Meadows. Yeah,
Yeah,
Meadows.
Rachel Madcow, because she was saying that William Barr got the Mueller report and
Yes.
he's not going to release it. And it's like I was like, what is she crying? She's crying. Boo! And I was like,
Yes.
I was laughing at her. And James Woods retweeted it. And I was like, and they kicked me off because it went viral like immediately. I
Yes.
got booted. I came back with another account. I was like, James, help me, man. That's me cackling. And he started following me. He says, I was like, oh, thank you. I'm so honored. He goes, that was an awesome tweet. I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, so happy.
That was so cool. I remember that because then you went on Periscope and you got booted off immediately again in the middle of your stream.
Well, that came later because
That was with your
that
second.
account, the, so this is like third. The third one, Jesse Waters had on the guy with the German Shepherd and said, don't get these kind of dogs unless you're ready to, take care of them and blah, blah, blah. And can I do a PSA? And yeah, and Epstein didn't kill himself. And I was like, holy bleep. And I started laughing. So that went viral. That was like
Yes.
18 million views. And Jesse Waters DM'd me and said, I have to
No,
have you on the show.
you
I was
did?
like, oh my God. And then 3 o'clock in the morning that night, they took my account down. I was like, are you kidding me? I was finally going to get my 15 minutes or 5 minutes on Jesse Waters' show for my cackle. They took the account down and I was on Matrix's show and Jesse Waters' guy, Johnny, called me while I was on the show and said, what happened to your account? And I said, they took me down. And I
Yeah.
said, am I still going to be on the show? And they said, oh, we'll let you know. And it's like, there's no point in being on the show if the account is gone and you can't see that got 18 million views, right? So
Well,
that was the end of that.
no
But then
way. So you
yeah,
didn't, so you never went.
nope. And now
Wow.
I've gone semi-viral a couple times with some things like Greg Gutfeld laughing at something he did, So the cackle still gets out there. And for some reason, because it's not my account, it's belongs to a Russian girl named
Karluska.
KarliQ P. Yes, the Russian woman. She posts stuff for me.
Yes,
So
I
she
know.
she seems to be safe. And she's very smart. This Russian woman, very smart. She blocks everyone. All the Q people that hate the the Q people haters and all the lefties and all the ugly people. She blocks everybody. So,
I know.
the account seems to be safe for a while.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that when you came back and you had to change your name and but everybody found you back very quickly. So that wasn't a problem. But and now
They
you're
found
back.
the cackle.
Yes.
The cackle brings them back.
Well, you started doing that again, but and I thought, "Oh no, Carly, watch out, watch out." But it's so fun. It's just so fun, you know?
Well, I did the Russian thing for a while. I had the Russian picture, Kaluska. I used to put out like inane tweets about Vladimir Putin and how much I loved him and stuff. So, to keep him off the scent. And then, it took a while to block all these, Will Summers and all these other schmucks that, hate Q people and they mass report Q people and stuff.
Yes.
And so, I once I had enough people blocked, and then something came on the TV, and I could not hold in the cackle. It had to happen. It was inevitable. I had to
Well,
cackle,
many
and
people are actually sharing your tweets in their YouTube videos, especially when you start laughing again because it's just hilarious. Plus, you always find the best stuff. I mean, seriously, I don't know how you do it, but you always find the best stuff and you retweet it and it's great. It's
oh, thank
awesome.
you. Well, I run the Karluska is like run like a news show.
Yeah.
Okay, where I have drama, I have cackle, I have the president. I find old videos, new videos, videos that get queued.
Yes.
I when Q posts, I do a thread. I don't add to it. I just put out what Q posted, maybe add an extra meme or
Exactly.
something.
How many times have
Because
you been cute now?
I think it's 6 or 7.
No way. That often?
Well, there was one with a delete with an account that they got,
Yeah.
and I think there was That's one. Then there was five, I think. I don't know. I could be going over, but also there was a couple with it was cued, but it was somebody that used my video and
Oh,
got
right. Yeah.
cued. So
Yeah.
it's like piggybacking.
Yeah. 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 It's,
But it
I mean, well,
well,
you
you know what it
deserve
is
it.
too. Q wanted the Lindsay videos, and everyone hates Lindsey Graham, and I was the only one putting the stupid Lindsey Graham videos out. That's like, guys, because I would get so beat up for putting up Lindsey Graham. I said, look, whether he's been freed or he's still a shill or he's still whatever,
A
but he
great.
golfs with the president and he's trying to do something. So I'm just, if I hear something he says on TV is worthwhile, I'm gonna post it. Don't beat up the messenger. That's what I started figuring out. Let me just put it up as news,
Yeah.
not opinion. So this
Exactly.
way it's there. You want to retweet it, you want to use it for something, it gets queued, whatever, run it like that. And then I add the comedy and the wacky videos. Now what I found this music video app. Well, it's not music video, but like you can add music to videos and all the editing. So now I do these great
Really?
compilations of like the stupid idiots at the marches and stuff,
Yes.
and I can slow it down, speed it up, and
No way. Oh, I need that
Benny
app.
Hill music. It's great. So I make my own little creations now. It's so
Have you
great.
seen that video yesterday with Hillary Clinton and Bill and that James Wood posted it as well, and it said, um, uh, "Well, it's best viewed without the sound on." And so I was, and Ardoc says to me, "Oh, that would be great to actually put like the sound of who is it again? Charlie Brown's
So,
teacher."
oh
To,
no, I heard one Sounds of Silence. I added Tiptoe Through the Tulips,
yes,
and I edited in while it's just Bill's face, and I edited in when he was looking at Ariana Grande's butt. And the other one at the inauguration where he's probably looking out at Melania or at Ivana
yeah,
or Ivanka. And Hillary's like, while she's running her mouth off about Russia, Bill's thinking of the good old days.
yes, yes.
So
He was just
sick.
he was just staring in the distance somewhere.
Now he looks, I don't know, maybe it was the lighting, but he looks a lot better than he did with his giant Q-tip head at the DNC convention because
I know. Yeah.
while he was running his stupid ass mouth, he looked real skeevy. Maybe he got a new pint of blood. I don't know.
Yes, that's
I don't know.
exactly what I
They're all such freaking vampires. I don't put it past anybody anymore. I put out a video this guy put out with close-ups of Joe Biden's hands, and it looks like he had a giant hole, like he'd been getting intravenous or something. I'm just like, wait, are they pumping this old vampire up with all kinds of stuff? That's
yeah.
why it was started when the president said he should be drug tested. President knows everything about these people. He knows everything.
Oh,
He
wait.
knows it. Biden.
So
They're pumping up Biden with shit.
yes. Well,
And the
he had also
president
the
says
black
he
eye.
should have a urine test before the debates because he thinks he's taking enhancing drugs or something.
Well,
I bet she's taking hydroxychloroquine, the son of a bitch.
he needs more than that, really. Oh, I've got a super chat from Brooklyn Way, and she says, "Carly, can we talk about Live Cafe and Pat Fields? We must know
What?
many same people from the city. Love it, Brooklyn Way. Um,
Wait, what? What cafe?
Live Cafe, and Pat Fields. You have to scroll up. And thank you for the
Hatfields.
donation.
I used to sing at Winter Garden. Is she talking about Brooklyn with the Russians?
No, her name is the Brooklyn Way. She's talking about Live Cafe and Pat Fields because she lives also. She's also from there. Wait a minute. Let me check if she's actually saying something about that.
Someone, yeah, I see here. Bacon Yoda says that he saw the IV. They're giving him dopamine.
They do. Well, he needs more than that because the guy, his brain is fried.
Well, he's had brain surgery. He's had people in his head. He's had blood aneurysms and stuff in his head.
That was with the debate,
twice.
like in 2018, right? When he also went, when he had the bloodshot in his eye.
Well, he had the surgeries way before the bloodshot eye. The bloodshot eye, I think it is just as, the clone was breaking down. Let me tell you, there were reptilians there. That Hickenlooper that dropped out, he dropped out of the race right after I posted the video of his eyes shifting and his teeth changing into fangs. I was doing close ups on the TV that whole night, and I was like, oh my God.
I remember that. You also make the cone heads always, right?
David
Love your
Life
hair
then
color.
later became founder of Jim. I don't know anything about these people.
East Village, the Life Cafe,
No.
is from the 80s. Thank you, Adam Smith, for your donation. So I just got it in now. So
I
yeah,
never got into yoga. I used to go to A7 and wear combat boots and kick skinheads and
I
stuff
don't
in the
see you
mosh
do
pit.
yoga.
No,
So,
I was never a yoga person ever.
so you went to Rikers, and so how
Yeah.
was your experience there? Because seriously, I can only imagine that you, yeah, you were quite the personality in there.
Well, at first it was horrifying because, I found out while I was in there the reason why I was taking Vicodin and my hips hurt all the time is because I finally got x-rayed
Mm-hmm.
in there. You get fed, you get medical, you get head meds, you get everything in there. It was better in there as far as, health and stuff than on the outside. And they found out I had absolutely no cartilage left in my hips. And this is
Wow.
from years of dancing and being on stage and wearing ridiculous shoes. I had bunions that stuck out like this from wearing those witchy poo shoes that came to a point
Those-
for years
Yes.
with the spiky heel.
Yeah. And when you get your foot out, it still stood like that.
Yeah, so I had these. Oh, it was horrible. I had one foot fixed; it's gone, but I still have to do
Right.
the other foot. But they said, "Oh my God, you need to have your hips replaced." I said, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Well, they weren't going to do it while I was in jail. They said, "When you get out, go get your hips done."
How long
And
did you
when I
stay
came,
there?
I was there. It's called doing a nut. When you do a nut in Rikers, it's 9 months.
Okay.
And they said you have a choice. You could go to rehab, which I would have been away somewhere for 2 years,
Whoa.
and I had two baby boys,
Wow.
and I had already been in holding for 3 months waiting for the court dates.
Why were you
And
in
I
there?
I had gotten into a car accident under the influence of Vicodin and cognac, and I
Oh,
wrapped the car around a tree on Ocean Parkway, leaving my last singing job in Brooklyn,
oh wow.
and I just blacked out completely. I
So,
just
so
out. Don't remember.
were you there like is that like a proper prison where, well, if you stay 9 months, I guess it is, but
Well, it was Brooklyn. It was a hideous judge that didn't like me because I was white and I was in a lot of pain, and they had me going to outpatient before the court dates, and because I had Xanax in my system because I had a panic attack from pain, and my husband gave me one of his Xanax because that was in my urine. They said I broke my whatever, I forgot the legal term was for it. So she said, because you have this in your urine, she threw the book at me.
what? So,
Yeah.
but it was medicine. It's not like it's
Well,
drugs.
no, but it's considered a drug if you're supposed to be in like a rehab. Like you can't be doing anything, no pain meds, no nothing. And I was in agony because, I didn't know I needed the hips done. All I knew is I couldn't walk and I was in pain all the freaking time.
But don't they
And
have like medical people in there that actually help you from that pain?
well,
Or
this was before the one of the court dates.
oh,
And the
oh,
social worker wanted me to go to their outpatient in Brooklyn. And I said, but I live in Long Island. I don't want to come all the way here on the train. I'm in pain. Why can't I just go to one near my house? And this was a whole social services tit for tat. No, we want you in Brooklyn because then you're on our roster. It's all this Obamacare BS, social services BS.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah. So I had a horrible panic attack the night before the hearing. And I said, I don't want to go to Brooklyn. I want to stay here near my kids. And I took the Xanax and they had it in the pee. And that's when, and
Wow.
the social worker said, well, she could go out here for 2 years to our place. And I said, go F yourself. I'll stay in Rikers. I'll
And
get through the 9 months and get home to my family and you can all kiss my ass.
well,
So that's
yeah.
what I did. And it was horrifying. It was
Mm.
awful. I almost got raped a few times in the shower. I gained a lot of weight. They
But
had me hopped up on so many different head meds for depression and stuff because I was in so much pain and they couldn't give me pain meds. I ended up like trading my oranges and my cookies and shit to get like
yeah.
Benadryl and crap from other inmates. They called me the Incredible Hulk because we did have to wear green uniforms.
Yeah.
So when this girl tried to cut me on the medication line, which I waited for all day because the pain was so horrific, I just wanted the head meds and go to sleep. She cut me thinking she was all, I picked her, I knew where the cameras were. See, this is where brain power beats these gangster bitches, okay? I saw where the cameras were. And when I got to a certain spot and she was waving, look how cool I am. I'm in front of, the
Yeah.
big white girl. I picked her up and I threw her down the hallway.
Why?
And
But like, were there mainly black women?
yeah. Well, this is how it ran over there. I went in there, it was like September, and I came out during the summer, but I was going in there, it was coming into the winter months. Now, a
Hmm.
lot of these were like meth heads, crack heads, and what they would do is all summer they'd be out
Yeah,
doing
right.
tricks,
Same
doing
here.
drugs. They come in there skinny like this. They do 3 months, fatten them, three
Yes.
three squares in a cot, blow themselves up, and then go right back out and do the same shit again. It,
Right.
it was like a revolving door. It was like a hotel for these people.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise they would be in the street in the cold,
Yeah.
right?
So they would. It was like overcrowded in the winter. Now they kept trying to put me in mass rooms. Where it was like beds lined up next to beds, and I
Wow.
didn't want to be near any of these fucking people. So I would keep doing fucked up stuff. So they'd have to put me in isolation, where I get to close my door and
Yes,
nobody gets to watch me on the toilet.
exactly.
um, I knew how to make deals with people where girls would go out and they would be doing cleanup and they would get the cigarette butts from the
Yeah.
guards off the floor and we'd break up the tobacco and roll it up in the outside paper that came in the toilet paper. I
Right.
would spray the bleach and we knew how to take a wire with a battery and get a spark because we
Oh,
had batteries in the little radios that we could buy. We had
right.
little radios and we'd light that in the shower. Someone sprays the bleach, and then we're toking on old tobacco.
Why you
I
couldn't
mean,
smoke there normally?
no, you're not allowed to smoke there. Why
I
are the
don't
guys
know.
spraying the bleach so they couldn't smell it? Oh, I was a horror. And it's like I was like, it's just like being back on the street as a kid. I learned all the dirty tricks,
Well, yeah, I
and while I
imagine.
was in there, I even invented some for people. And then I was also one of the tallest, and they had the TV up on a shelf, and it only got like 3 or 4 channels, old black and white piece of crap. And the antenna would always screw up. And I learned how to take like a maxi pad and put it in a certain spot when we get a certain channel. They wanted to see a special show. And
Yeah.
I basically ran the TV because I was the tallest one to change the channel.
Oh my God.
And I knew how to work the antenna.
Wait, your sound is getting,
Okay. Also, I ended up I was writing a lot because I was a songwriter and everything. So while I was in there, I ended up writing a lot of stories and reading a lot.
yeah.
And the girls were all asking me, because a lot of them were illiterate. They couldn't read or write. I mean, they
Really?
were just like prostitutes and drugs, and that's it. And they all had boyfriends, or they all had their, Johnny boys or their pimps on the outside. And they said, "Can you help us write a letter?" Because I
Really?
would read to them
Oh,
and stuff. And I used to write them letters and write the like sexy letters and stuff for them to send to their Johns. And then they would get a letter back, or they'd talk to them on the phone and said, "Miss Carly, you just wrote that letter. My man can't wait to see me. Oh, you the best. Here, have an orange." It's like they were so happy because I wrote the letters for them, put little drawings and stuff. It
oh
became
my
like a
gosh.
project. Carly's sex letters from prison for other inmates. I was running a business. It was nuts. It was nuts.
Oh my gosh. So, how did you get into the Q movement actually?
Oh, well, that came years later.
Well, yeah.
That came years later. Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
after I was home, I guess, uh, my husband and I separated and finally divorced. Uh, the boys were older. My restaurant burnt down. I'd been through every business I tried to start, nothing would happen. And then I stopped voting after Bush. I mean, 8 years of Obama bin Laden, all the businesses around here closed, everything, couldn't afford to stay in the house anymore. I don't even know how I'm still in this house right now. They haven't come and gotten me. I think this virus helps me more than anybody.
somebody
Uh,
donated for your swear jar. Chris Hawkins, thank you for your donation. Here's some Karluska swear jar. I just took $5 from the side of my overflowing jar. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry for cursing, guys. I'm sorry. It's a
Oh,
it's a New
everybody does
Yorker
that
thing.
here. It doesn't
I'm
matter.
sorry.
No, that's
I don't
fine.
I, I don't I don't think with the filter. I'm used to doing my periscopes where I just go off and say all whatever
Well,
comes out of my head.
that's what I don't have a filter either. So, and everybody knows that, and that's why it's always fun as well. And well, if people can handle it, then they can't. So,
Well, I
so
started with the Facebook and I saw some videos and stuff, and then I said, "Yeah, let me try one of these Twitter accounts," because then I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't
mhm,
know anything about what was going on. And then I started seeing stuff on TV. I said, "Why do they hate this guy so much? I always liked this TV show. I
yeah,
love this TV show. I thought he was the greatest." I said, "Why? Because he's not one of them?" And
yeah.
then, slowly, it's like I've heard this from a lot of people. They can't remember the exact time they saw a Q post or or the exact date or anything. It's just like it it just happened. It was like a
No, I
happening.
was there. The first cube post, it fell right in front of my nose because I was on the
Well,
chance.
no, I'm saying I don't know how I came upon it, or
Oh,
you know what I'm saying. I can't remember it exactly. It just happened,
wow.
and it just that was it. That I was working with some people on Twitter trying to bust the damn Twitter pedos and stuff, and then that became too much for me. Like seeing some of
Yeah.
these videos and stuff, I was like, I've been through this. I can't. I love you guys. If I can help any other way, it was too much for me.
Yeah, I skipped most of that as well in the
You
research
know,
because I was on the chance a lot
because
and
when I started seeing the stuff, I mean, I keep telling the story over and over. I basically was on my knees crying for a week, screaming, Jesus. I went through this. I don't want to see other people go through this, but this is like worldwide. This is horrific.
yes, it is.
Please use me any way you can, but please, I can't look at these videos. It's too much.
I know.
And
This
every
is
once in a
actually
while, I'll report something,
this
that
is
I
where it
see on
started
Twitter.
for us. It started like that because for you guys it was 9/11 for many that woke up, but for us we knew for a long time about like the UK. Well, you know the UK and
Yeah.
Europe was already very much there was already so much stuff that went covered up and and we constantly saw it with politicians. And so that's actually where we woke up here in Europe to that stuff. And so with Q, obviously that went even
Do you see
wider.
what's going on in London now? With, you know, I had a video that went viral of everyone out in front of Buckingham Palace with the sign
Yes.
"Save the Children." And now,
Well,
just over the weekend, there was a bunch in front of the Disney store and in
yeah.
front of the BBC with "Save the Children" with Q shirts and everything like that, saying "Save the Children." Uh, uh, pedos go home. We don't need no pedo education, I mean,
Well, yeah,
it's
it's only,
worldwide now. They can't
yeah,
stop this now. There's
no, they
even
can't.
articles out. There's this Q movement. It's dangerous, but they can't
No.
stop it now. It's too
No, they
late.
can't. And
Too late.
it was like at the moment in Europe, very much they try to normalize it, right? That a minor attractive person, what is it? And so yeah, that is big here. So the normalization of this whole crap,
Yeah.
and because well, there are quite a lot of people still very asleep, at least in my country, and but thanks to Q, lots of people waking up to this, because especially now in the past weeks that the media is constantly bashing about Q. However, they actually make people now look it up because many didn't have never,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
even bad publicity is good publicity, because and the greatest thing is that they immediately start talking what we claiming, right? and so um and so obviously there are many people that probably go search for it because they want to know, oh, let's see if we can get them and see if it's not true, because then we can prove to them, it's not true, and then they find actually out it's true. And so and
Mm-hmm.
that's the great thing about how they bash us maybe in the media, but at the end of the day, I mean, people go
Well,
research.
yeah, but you would be surprised with uh, the KarliQ P account how many blue check marks I'm just finding out are following me.
Really?
Uh-huh. Because I told you I run it like a news cycle, or if somebody gives me, "Carly, you should post this," I get a lot of DMs and stuff, and I say if it's credible and I see some sauce on it, yeah, I'll post it.
Yeah.
And then I'll get blue check marks asking me, "Where did you get this video? What is it? Can I
Yeah.
use this? Blah blah blah." And or they ask me questions. I'm not going to get sucked into somebody saying, "Well, explain Q to me," and stuff like that.
Yeah. No.
Nobody, listen. Nobody held my hand.
No.
Nobody ever held my hand and helped me with anything.
Well, the whole point of
The
Q is
whole
that you
point is
research.
to do it yourself, research
Exactly.
yourself.
Exactly. That's the whole point of it. And this is so great, because if you don't tell anybody anything about it, they are forced to actually research, right?
They have to. And you know what? You're better off. It's almost like we were talking about addiction. You're
Right.
never going to come out of it until you're face in the gutter, and
Exactly.
you decide yourself to get yourself up.
True.
Because you could go to rehab till you're purple. It's not going to kick in to you, except that I am powerless over
Yes.
this. I am powerless and I need help, and
Yeah.
I want help, and I want to be better.
True.
And
Because
it's the same thing. It's that's awakening you have to do
exactly.
yourself.
And but this is why it's so brilliant that the media start bashing, but people then start actually looking it up. I love it because we can complain about it, but at the end of the day, any publicity is good publicity. It doesn't matter. So you
Exactly.
were saying about Trump, how you found out that, like, why is everybody bashing him, right?
Well, that's what made me so curious, because after 9/11 and being here in New York, I'm still scarred from that. It's like I was in my basement doing Taibo and singing on the weekends in Brooklyn. And my husband at the time called me and said, "Do you have the TV on?" And I was like, and I ran upstairs. I was like devastated, because I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
I lived in the city. It's my city. I love my city. And I watched my city crumbling. Almost lost my neighbor because they were in the first bombing of the towers. Two
Oh, wow.
accountants living across the street. And her husband was in one of the buildings, and she's there pregnant out to here with three other babies.
Oh my
And
God.
so she's having a heart attack because they escaped the first bombing when they had the van that went into the parking lot. They did the trial run of the
Really?
towers. And finally, he came home. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and he said, "You know what? Thank God we went through the first one because they all told us to sit down and relax." And I said, "Oh hell no!" and got out of there. He
Yeah.
knew. He said he left people behind that are probably dead,
Wow.
and he got the hell out of there and
Were
got
you
right
that
down the
close
stairs.
there?
What?
You were that close to the.
No, no, no. That was my neighbor. My neighbor was working there. Where
Oh,
I was on my front stoop, and all of a sudden, you don't know what it's like to be a New Yorker, and you
no.
look up in the sky, and there's no planes. There was a quiet because nothing was running. And then I thought to myself, well, maybe they need blood. And I'm driving around going to the hospitals and the blood banks, and everybody's like, we don't need it.
Wow.
We don't need it. There were no bodies. There was nobody to give
No,
blood to.
I saw it happening right there on when it happened in the morning. Well, for us it was afternoon, and so my mom called me and she said, and we looked at it while it happened, like live on TV, and so yeah, that was a big shocker, understatement.
I was never the same after that. I think it was that afternoon. I hadn't had a cigarette or a drink. Well, I hadn't had a cigarette in a year, but I hadn't had a drink in 12.
Wow.
And that afternoon, I had a cigarette. And then it escalated after that, that my restaurant burnt down. It was just like one gloomy thing after another. It was like a curse was put on everyone in New York.
Yeah.
And that's when the alcohol and the drugs and everything started again.
Yeah.
After that, that was like it was almost like a lot of people said it was a ritualistic kind of thing.
Yes.
I'll tell you something. I was singing at church at the time when this all happened. I was going to Bible college. I was born again. I was happy with my life. I had two beautiful babies. I was married. I had a great singing job in Brooklyn with the Russians. Everything was great. I was in plays at my church. I was going to Bible college. I was learning theology. And then this happened, and it just felt like someone ripped my guts out. And the night that happened, I called the church. I said, "Is there still class tonight? There can't be class tonight." She said, "Of course there's class tonight, and we're going to pray." So I went to class, and I felt weird, just like my skin, everything felt weird. I went to sleep that night, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up like when your body is like frozen,
Yeah.
like you can't move, but you're awake. And I
Sleep
looked and
paralysis.
my husband's next to me asleep.
Mm.
And I look up, and there's this giant black figure at the end of my bed. It looked like something out of Lord of the Rings, where it had like the helmet, the black iron helmet, and then the head was smaller than the rest of the body. And it just stood there. And I was just like, and I couldn't move. And it just stood there.
Wow.
And I couldn't even pray in tongues or yell Jesus or anything. I was completely frozen. And I've never been the same since. I was like, I knew demons were let into into the world or into the state or something. I said, this is not good.
Yes.
Whatever that was, I'll never be the same after that. It just, I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't know, like I went to church, but I wasn't a warrior. I was
Yeah.
still learning.
Mm.
So after that, everything I did just went to shit. Everything. Everything I tried, music, a belt store, the restaurant I sang in burnt to the ground. I went to
Wow.
another one. They closed down. I ended up selling belts at the mall. And then the hip thing started. It was just one disaster after another. I was like, it got to the point. It's like, why am I alive?
Yeah.
And then finally, I ended up in Rikers, and then I had to scoop myself up after that. Had the hip surgeries, and it still took some time after that because that was
So, so
6 months apart.
did you have like an awakening, as in like, okay, it has to stop from here on out, and enough is enough? Oh, let
That
me.
well, that's what I'm saying. I can't pinpoint when that awakening started. I don't know a date. I don't know what shook me into it.
Mm,
It just happened. And the
wow.
next thing I know, I'm doing Twitter stuff and I'm trying to bash pedos and get them busted and be funny. And I just found this whole new voice
Yes. So,
and made a
um,
lot of friends, a lot of
um,
wonderful friends.
yes, but that's it. So I gotta thank Dr. Spock. He love you, ladies. Thank you. And Doc F reminds me of my aunt Irene from Flatbush.
That's cool.
And
Flatbush is cool.
James N, thank you for your donation. My very first super chat for the Keystone USA Vacation Fund. Thank you so much. So, well, because that is the thing. You wake up, you get into this Q movement, and then you meet so many people. Because I had 25 years of agoraphobia, and I had no contact with people either. Like you said, you're on your attic for 9 years. I was like that
Yes,
for
I
25 years.
haven't.
And now I've got
Jeez.
so many people. Well, obviously, most of them are in the US, but still, you feel so close to everybody, and you have so much support, and everybody has a story, everybody has a past, and the fact that so many people can relate to your story because we all have been there. And did I say Dr. Spock?
Is
Sorry.
that the Mr. Spock that sent you the gift when you
Yes.
put out the post about the show? And you,
Yes.
it's so cute. I
So
love you too, Mary. I saw her out there. But I found more love and acceptance. And you know what?
yes, but
You
that's
have
it.
these elites, as the president calls them, and you know, they all think they know what's best for us. Meanwhile, they live completely differently than they want us to live.
Yeah.
And
Look
all
at
these
Pelosi.
other people that are so superficial and they think they're so godly and so perfect.
Yes.
You know what I found through this whole thing?
Mm,
The more broken you are, the wiser God makes you
so
and
true.
opens your heart and opens you to other people that are like-minded. See, this
Exactly.
whole awakening, it can't be an elitist bunch of crap.
No, we're real.
It's
We're
it's
humans
taking it
with
it's
shit.
taking
You
all the broken things and
know?
bringing them together,
Exactly.
and we're just part of a giant puzzle, and we're all over the earth, and we're going to change things. We're not going to change things by burning down buildings, and we're not going to change things by shooting at people. We're not going to
Exactly.
change things by looting. We're not going to change things by being a communist country. We're going to change
Exactly.
things through prayer and love and respect for each other. And if you got
Exactly.
to block some dippy doodle head, fine. All right.
Yeah.
Like I said, you guys had 4 years to get it together. If
Yes.
you don't, I'm sorry. Wheat and chair, sheeps and goats. Goodbye. All right. You had your chance. It
Yeah.
took me 50 years.
Well,
You know
same.
what I'm saying? It's like I gave you four.
Oh, I absolutely love my new family, says Chris Hawkins. And my lionesses are just to die for. Hugs and
Aw.
smoochies. Thank you, Chris Hawkins. So it is true, though, because we are all sort of broken people coming together to get healed, but at the same time to heal the whole world. And this is what it's all about, right?
Exactly, because how is anybody going to understand what you're about and the message you're giving if you haven't lived it yourself?
But
And
this is
every single person in this movement has been through something
hell
horrible
and
or has
back.
awakened.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
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 Well,
That's
this
why
is
these people on the TV, they're so phony because they never had a hardship in their life.
exactly.
And they're
But
telling us how to live. And I'm just like, you
yes. Well, this
tell
is it,
tell me.
because how long have we had to shut up about whatever we had, whether it's a bad past
Yes.
or whatever? And because, oh, then you're the weaker in in society. Well, turns out we all come from from that space. We all come
Well,
from
that
that.
used to, yeah, it used to be embarrassing to have a drug habit and this and that. They would scoot you away and hide it from the family, or having a child out of wedlock. And but I
Yeah.
broke every cardinal rule there was
Well,
with
this
my
is
life. You
now.
know what I'm saying?
Well, now it's a badge of honor because this is what brought us here, right? Because what you said was
Exactly.
so accurate, like uh, because you are broken, it's because we're stronger, because we were broken, right? And now we're gonna get healed, and now we can talk about everything. We are not the weaker one. We are the one. We are the pioneers here that actually will change the world, with what we do, because that's why we woke up. And that's why these idiots that never had anything in their life, they don't wake up because they're so spoiled. And so, which is in a way also sad, but at the same time, it's probably because we were broken that we woke up, right?
Well, it's also, what I find? It's like here I look at the MTV awards. It's like I wanted to be them. My
Yeah.
whole life, I wanted to be in the movies. I wanted to be them. I
Yes.
wanted,
And
and
now,
now I see them with these new eyes, and I'm like, oh, it's just so gross and evil.
can you still watch a movie?
I can't unless I know like who's in it and stuff. I've gotten a little better.
Well,
It's like
yeah.
I'll tell you, it's almost like when I had a born again experience,
Yes.
and I was baptized and I started speaking in tongues, and I was just
You
like, they
did?
call it that, filled with that Holy Spirit fire. And I came home and I threw out statues, I threw out magazines, I threw out DVDs, I cleaned out the whole house. I said, "This is the devil. This is the devil. Cigarettes are the devil. Everything's the devil." And
You
my
went
husband like,
overboard.
"What the hell? What the hell's going on?" Meanwhile, it was his mother's idea for me to go to church. She can't marry my son unless she's a Christian. And I said, all right. Well, now she got a Christian. There
So,
was fire
so,
coming out of her ass. It was nuts.
so
I
what
lost
happened?
it.
What happened? Because you say like you were born again. Thank you, singing pretty. She says,
Well, when you
wait,
born
wait.
again, it's like what?
Oh no, that's singing pretty. She says more for the USA fund. I wish you were coming to CA. That's California, right? When I go to the US, I will visit you all.
Yes,
And so,
definitely.
did you like have like because you
I
said you
had an experience.
tell
I
it.
went up. It was a little Australian church on Long Island that my then soon to be husband took me to. And
Uh-huh.
I had been going to I met him at an AA meeting, and I was still singing on the weekends. And I was going to these angel meetings at this bookstore, and I was getting into fairies and stuff like that. And it's like, he started hanging around. I wasn't interested. He's like, ugh, whatever. I had two kids. I was a single woman. I didn't want anyone touching me at that point.
Yeah.
And he said, let me take you to my church. My mother wants you to come to church. So I went, and I went to a Lutheran school as a kid,
Wait,
and
your
they were all
my
crooked over there. It's like I had it with like churches because they all treated me bad.
yeah.
So I went to this church and I went up to the altar call and I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And they prayed on me and I fell down and passed out.
Whoa.
Supposedly that's being slain in the spirit. And then they put their hands on my stomach and I started going, Ruchi Shakal Ruti. I started praying in tongues. I was like, oh my God, I'm possessed by something. And then that same day they said, look, she's on fire. She's on fire. So they baptized me right away. They had a tank. And I cried for a whole week. I was like, ah, it was like I had to cleanse myself of all the evil, of all the guilt, of all the shame, of everything. And it was like I had to empty out my vessel of all the evil so I could have
Demons.
Jesus completely in me. And it was, listen, anyone that says, "Oh, God ate me up," I said, "No, I had an experience. I had
Many.
an
You know
experience."
how many in the movement had that?
And this was before the movement or anything. This was
Yeah, yeah, but still, I mean, everybody, I mean, I know so many people that had a period right before waking up, they had this experience. So, you know, I mean, probably that was meant to be or something, but go on.
but because of that, it then later on, I was going to church and everything was great. I got married, and then that's when 9/11 happened, and I guess that's when I was able to see the evil, because after that thing on the end of my bed, I would still go to sing in Brooklyn, and there were nights where I would be on the stage and I would look out at the people dancing, and it's almost like they had demon faces sometimes.
Like that movie, yeah.
And I was like, "What? Why am I seeing these things? Stop it! Stop!" It scared me.
So did you
It
go to the
scared me.
church and ask?
Well, I found out it was another crooked church
Uh,
that were just using me, and that's after that. I had made some Christian music and stuff, tried to get that, done. I said, God must be giving me these songs, because I can't even remember writing them. They would come to me at
wow.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd sing into a tape recorder, and I spent all this money, and this was, came after 9/11, and everything I did was a failure. Everything after 9/11,
And so
just
how,
one fit. It was one failure after another. There's nothing I could have done. No, praying all the time in the spirit, reading the Bible. There's nothing I could have done to change what was happening, and I just gave up. And that's when, after I started working at this other restaurant, I hadn't drank or done anything for 12 years. Someone handed me a little shot of cognac,
mm.
and then it just, that's all
So
it took.
if that
That's all it
happened,
took.
do you have any idea what was that meant to happen? Maybe because you had still some lessons to learn, or I don't know, some.
I think that when those towers came down, it was, from what my research tells me now, that was some kind of ritual sacrifice thing, and some evil was let into this sphere, or this dimension,
Yes,
and it just had a party with
but
everybody, and it didn't matter how godly you were. It didn't matter. This thing was out, and it was taking everybody apart. and
wow.
and
So did you know other people around you that had the same?
I couldn't talk to anybody about it, because everybody was off on their own. It was, I never seen so much division. It was everybody, I'm just selfish and doing their own thing. No, nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Because I do believe that because it was a huge ritual, obviously, and yeah, I wonder were the people that escaped that ritual in the sense that, well, obviously you were already very sensitive to these things, and
Well, I
so
found out I'm empathic, that I feel things, like I can feel like what somebody's thinking coming through the damn TV. It goes right through me.
yeah.
Or I'll read something, and it's like, I didn't know I was sensitive. I found out about this Rh negative blood that makes me different or something.
Oh,
That's
you've
why I
got the
won't do that.
RH.
I won't do those tests to find out, your bloodlines and crap
Yeah.
like that. I said, the vampires will come looking for me. I don't need that shit. Maybe that's why that demon was at the edge of my bed. He wasn't allowed to bite me yet. I was like, now I got the fake hips, so there's a lot of metal in my blood, so they don't want me now. So I'm safe
they
now.
break their they break their teeth on your
Yep,
head.
exactly, exactly. Because I read so many vampire books. I was such a vampire fan, and being a vampire fan doesn't mean I want to be a vampire. A lot, it's sex. Vampire stories are sex. That
Yeah.
was my porn. So let me have my
Really?
vampire porn.
I never liked
The,
that.
anyway, I was writing some stories myself and everything, and I was thinking, what would happen if I got bit, and it changes your whole body? Would the fake hips like burst out of my body so real bones could grow back? And I started thinking, oh, how horrible that would be. I said, nah, I don't want to be a vampire anymore. See, this is how twisted my mind is.
Oh,
the
trust me, no.
surgery, the surgery was so horrible. I don't want to go through that again. I, I'm not well. I'm
So
not.
you
I'm
went
not
over to
well.
werewolves now?
Oh goodness.
Oh, lots of garlic, says Donald. Yes. Does anybody
Yeah, I
actually?
love garlic.
Me too. Does anybody have a question actually for Carly? Because we have. She's not
Yeah,
often.
we're after 8 o'clock, right?
Well, yeah, 2 o'clock my time.
Okay.
No, it's 2 a.m. here.
Woo!
Oh yeah, I'm always in the US time. So, is there anybody has a question? Because I want to know now that she's here.
Do you think we'll learn about space in the future after sorting 9/11 out? I hope so. I hope so. Listen, a lot of people have those memes out about, the aliens coming for the month of September. I've
Y-
been saying that for a while because look, they're screwing with the election.
Yeah.
Everything they screw with that doesn't work. I
You mean
always said, and this is before I saw this meme. I said, you know what? Their last bit, when like the term throwing the spaghetti on the wall and whatever sticks.
yeah.
The aliens, I think, is their last card.
Well, yeah, the Project Bluebeam, right?
Whatever.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be like a fake thing, and I think, but well, we don't know. Thank you, Baker, for the wonderful interview. Hi, Leo D. Nice to see you here. I see loyal to the foil. Great
Well,
Space
did
Force.
everyone see, like they're saying Space Force? Did everyone see the article that they said the moon is rusting? And
Yes.
the first thing in my head? It's the Death Star.
No.
And then
Well.
people are sending me articles saying, "Oh yeah, when they landed on the moon, it echoed because it's hollow."
Well, you
I'm
know
hearing
that
all.
Alara has now 1 foot in 5D. They have every Sunday night. We have the Space Force news, which is great. And I'm going to be the space weather girl. That's going to be
That's awesome.
yeah.
I love it.
I'm going to be the sexy space weather girl. And on Thursday, they have the conspiracy couch, which is as Art Bell used to have his call ins with people that have experiences, whatever. So on Thursday evening, you can call in on the conspiracy couch at 10. What is the time again? And also post the link for the channel so people know where it is. It's going to be fun. And hi, Q team. I see you there. Sorry, I didn't greet you before. So many
Hi
today.
Q team. Hi Q team. All
So,
right. Someone keeps saying Nasara,
oh, Nasara
patents, and
Jazara.
bed and med bed. All right. A lot of people ask me about that. I know nothing about it. I haven't researched it. I just know what I've glanced over. I know in the Q post, it's like gold will end the Fed.
Yes,
And I know that a lot of people have been buying gold. I know we've obtained a lot of gold. I know that Maduro tried to fly a lot of gold out of Venezuela. Maybe it was intercepted. I don't know. I know the Fed has changed their tune and now are agreeing with everything the president has said for a while now.
yes.
And a lot of people seem to be changing their tune. I was very surprised how many people jumped out and supported the president with this whole, soldier gate, or, you know, this whole Atlantic article. Even people you wouldn't expect, like Bolton and
Oh, yes, I saw
Kelly.
that.
I was like, really?
Yeah.
But
So there is
this whole thing's a setup.
Leo Day asked, can you ask Carly what her biggest viral was and her favorite or most important retweet? Any tweets that boosted her followers? Well, every tweet really. It's just her laugh that boosted the followers. But
Exactly. But no, James Woods, even though this is he followed my old account, he retweets, he'll take my video and then put his own header. He does
Yes.
that a lot. And Greg Gutfeld, who, you know,
I like that guy.
I love him. He's
Yes.
so red pilled,
Yes.
and he follows me now. And
He does.
I put like animal tweets out. I don't tag him, but I know sometimes he'll check, and I just keep hoping because he's used a couple of animals are great videos on his
Yes.
show that I have posted. I don't know if he got them from me or he went and found had his people find the source of them because
Yeah.
a lot of them are on Emarg or whatever that app is. But that I love. And well, you guys know the president retweeted me.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the best one of
Oh,
all. And
that's
I didn't lose my account. That's what I'm amazed at.
I
That
I
account that
read.
he retweeted over the weekend that hadn't tweeted since like 2000, 19. And he
Yes.
retweeted a few of this guy's tweets and they took him down.
Yes, me too. You know how he tweeted and then Twitter got that tweet that he posted, they blocked that. However, I had a screenshot, so I put it on and boom, I lost my account. I'm on my eighth account, by the way.
Oh
So,
God.
I never get like many followers because every single time I boot it. And I mean, I don't know if there's a different ruling when you live in Europe, but I mean, I swear,
Well,
I just,
they trace your VPN. They
well,
trace
I
your
have
IP address.
IP.
So
Yeah.
if you're starting a new account and say, your Wi-Fi or whatever, they're going to get you eventually.
Well, yeah, no, I used a VPN. Actually, I made a video about how to get back because by now I'm an expert, obviously. But
Yeah.
but yeah, but this was just one tweet of a screenshot of President Trump's tweet, and the moment I put it out, like within 5 minutes, I was booted. So, hey Terry, nice to see you. For space weather, check out Daily Suspicion. Yes, we get there with the weather news. Um, yes, I'm very
Yeah,
badly.
I had to use my son's phone number too,
Yes, I've got
Nicole.
I've got
It's the same, and we all have to do that.
I
And
go through
it's
my
so
whole
funny. They'll
family.
lock me out, and he'll be out somewhere, and I'm like, "Quick, give me the call! Give me the call!" He's like, "Will you calm down?" I said, "No, I need it now. And you're gonna think it's a fake account."
Yes, because you got so many minutes, right? I have the same.
Yeah,
I've got my nephew, and so I just go through the whole family to get all their phone numbers, and then I said, "Well, stand by," because I have to verification now, and yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So actually, I know one that is on his 40th account, and I saw
yeesh.
IET is back again. He's inevitable now.
Yes. I mean, they're even taking the guys down uh, over on Instagram and on
Yes,
Facebook.
yes,
I
they
mean,
did a huge.
they targeted certain people. I can't believe Lisa May. They
Yes.
got her on all three platforms, and she's fighting them all. So she's on Parler.
But she never came back to Twitter though.
No, she's fighting it. She won't come back. She's fighting it because she had that account since what 2007. She said this is ridiculous
I know.
to come after me.
I
You
know.
know,
Well,
but
yeah.
this is what they do. They target people. A lot of these schmucks that write these articles for the Daily Beast and Kaplan and all them idiots.
Yes,
They
yes.
they mass report people. They put like I was in a Rothschild article, and that was the first account to go
Yes.
because I had a whole Rothschild thread. He
Yes.
didn't like it, so he put a whole article with this cute. Then I had one on Rachel Chandler. This
Right.
other idiot, Summers, he didn't like it. So then I lose that account. But you see what, and then they get their bot friends and they put you on a list. Always check
Yeah.
those lists because people, they'll look like MAGA, they'll look like Q people, but they're
Exactly.
not. Look at who they're following. You block them and everybody that follows them.
Yeah.
Because
And
some people say, why do you have so and so blocked? I said, did they follow this idiot or
yes.
that idiot? Then yeah,
Yeah.
they get
I,
blocked. Okay,
I've
too
had
bad.
Yeah, I check also because you just cannot. I mean, seriously, even and I'm just at the eighth account, but it's getting so hard to get back in, and they make just new ways to know because even I had like just the word Keystone in my name, and boom, out I was again. Then when you actually follow Trump as the first follower, boom, you get thrown out. So I
Yep.
found all those things out, and so
You
yeah,
every account you learn more than the last one, and
yes,
but they keep adding new algorithms and tricks and things
exactly.
too. I mean, the fact that they they're
Yeah,
censoring the president, and we tweeted a Mel Q, and it was just printout of an article from the CDC.
I
I,
know.
I, I was like, I don't understand. And it was
Well,
only Tucker Carlson was the only one to talk about it.
exactly. But this
It
is
makes no sense.
but the worst thing actually, I did see a lot of people waking up because of this censorship. So they are like, okay, I hate the president all you want, but if you're gonna censor every people randomly like
And
that,
not censor one lefty and not censor one Democrat.
well, yeah,
Only Republicans. People are waking up. The more that they try to shut us up and the
the-
president up and still and not report all this burning down and now the president
wait, you're falling away. Your connection.
now the now the Democrats are anti-vax.
Yes, yes,
Anti-vax.
yes. I know. Wait, somebody wants to
Can you
know.
believe that? We're conspiracy theories.
Yes, it's ridiculous. Somebody wants
Hi,
to know.
JT.
Hey, JT. Somebody wants to know if Joe M is back. Yes, he is.
Yes.
What's his name now again? Um,
Oh,
um,
I don't know it offhand.
oh, me neither. I will post. I will retweet one at the top of my Twitter tonight after I finish here, so you all guys know who he is. Actually, I can check it now, right? Since
Mm-hmm.
we're here. Let me see. What was his? Oh gosh. No, I cannot do that because then I have to search for him and I can't remember now. But I have him in my Twitter, but I will post my first tweet tonight when I finish here. I will put one up from him and then and so then you have to follow me then as well. So for my Twitter, it's in the description or my mods can put it in. Thank you all. And yeah, I'm so glad with you as well. I mean, we've been following each other for a long, long time already because, I mean, by that time, that was still my first account. We already followed each other, and so yeah, it's great fun. I see every YouTuber always posting your tweets or discussing your tweets because they're awesome. You just know how to pick them, and it's great.
I try to put the facts out there, but also sometimes you like my saying is now, don't ever lose your sense of humor.
No.
And my cackle is now been proven. It's a superpower. My
Yes.
cackle is a superpower. And I'm gonna take down dynasties. I'm
Yes.
gonna take down evil. I am
Who
going to
needs
take
acting if
down
you have a
evil
cackle?
with this cackle. Yes.
Oh,
You
JT.
keep seeing all these superhero shows. I'm telling you, I should be on as a cackle, and I'll go, and people just fall down.
Yes. Yes. Oh, JT says he misses you.
I miss him too. They took him down.
And Baker Yoda says Colorado Springs is now a Space Force command, will be for 6 years. The town will have to jump through many more hoops to stay here longer. Oh, yeah, I don't know Colorado Springs, obviously, because I'm in Europe. But yeah, superpower, laughter. Yeah, who knew? So you don't need singing. You don't
I
need
had
act.
no, I no. but I
Oh,
still
you did.
can do that if I have to. I still
Well,
like
yeah,
with my
obviously.
Periscope, I do different characters and stuff, and I have fun with that. But you know what? It's not scripted or anything. I just get a mood, or it's just
Yeah.
very very free what I do
It's the
now.
spontaneous ones that are the
Yeah,
best.
exactly.
I love it. So I know that you wanted to watch, what was it again?
Tucker Carlson, man, I'm missing Tucker Carlson. I wanted to see if he was going
Well,
to do that story on that poor vet that they keep using him for all these negative ads and chat rooms, and he's very upset.
yes, he
What
is.
is it? Bobby Henline. He was burned. He's missing part of his arm and stuff. He does comedy, and they keep using him for all these Democrat freaking talking points and chat and mad out chat rooms on Facebook. And he's three videos I posted, and he's like, "Will you please stop using my image?"
Yes.
And all three videos I put out, the last one I tagged Tucker Carlson and Hannity and Laura Ingraham. I said, "Guys, please, he wants someone at Fox to tell his story, so they'll leave him alone." So hopefully someone picked that story up, because
Well,
we are the news now.
you think they will ask
Whether you
you?
guys believe it or not. No, they're not going to ask me, but they'll see it. They'll send
Yeah,
one of their people to research it, and it will come up.
exactly.
But because I put it out there and other people are sharing it, the story is out there because we're the
Exactly.
news. We put
We
it
are
out
the
there. Tweets are news.
tweets are
Anyone
news.
tweets. They write articles about tweet fights.
Ex-
Candace and Cardi B had a
yeah,
tweet fight. It's a news article. The
exactly.
president tweets. It's a news article. It's you know what I'm saying? Tweets are the news. This is why I
Exactly.
fight so hard to stay on that platform, because that's the
We all do.
battlefield.
It's our battlefield indeed,
Yes.
and yes, we cannot do the hashtags anymore and the memes, well, the memes still, but the hashtags are, I don't use them anymore because, it's risky. And
Yeah.
now we got stuff going on in Europe, so I'm sharing that as well with our police that's being violent with us. So, but still we have to be careful. So, I'm going to, because, you still want to go to Tucker, and you guys, please like and subscribe if you want to see more interviews coming up with other patriots. And thank you so much for being here, Carly. I loved it. I hope you come back again.
Oh, definitely. I love you. And listen, you come to America, and then you can pick me up and take me over back where you are.
Hell yeah. I even learned different dialects, all y'all.
Oh no. Yeah, you'll go back with the little accent, and then I'll give you a piece of chewing gum, and then you'll go right back to sounding the way you used to, because that's what does it every time.
I guess the chewing gum does it, right? So,
Yep,
but yeah,
exactly.
definitely. I will come and visit everybody when I go to. I've got this GoFundMe that all these patriots set up for me, so I can come visit. The U.S. I prefer to go and live there actually because Europe is not a paradise at the moment, and so yes. And on top of that, obviously, I have my healing show as well because I help people with healing and getting better and whatever they do. And so I'm getting the website set up for that as well, so we can do workshops and I guide people to getting better. Now, I obviously Mondays is my interview day, preferably with one patriot, and I was so happy that you could come. And I love you so much, and I love,
Oh, mwah, I love you. You're a
yeah,
doll.
yeah, we are
You're so
redheads.
adorable.
We
Yes. Well,
we
you're a
are.
real redhead. I said I died my way into the
There's a
club.
new redhead in town too, right? Savannah, the girl, the one
Yes.
that does the
Yes,
video.
she's great too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and she's a natural redhead as well, like me. But yeah, I've been. She was following me, but then I had. Oh, that was it. Twitter is constantly making people unfollow.
Oh
So that
yeah, they do
sucks.
that.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for being here. And thank you, all my mods and all my sisters in there and brothers. And you guys, I love you all so much. And we're going to have Carly back. I promise. I
Love
will.
you guys.
Thank you all for coming. Bye.
Mwah. Bye.